All right, Spanx here. Today we're going to be breaking down Yandy Diaz, a player who I think might be the most underrated player in the MLB. And I don't know if it's just me where I'm at in the world and where I'm at in the league, or if it's everyone that doesn't realize how amazing this guy is. And then when you start to look into the numbers, you realize, wow, he might just be getting started and he might have just made an adjustment that could make him an MVP level player. And that's not a hyperbole. This guy is really good. So we kind of just looking at some preliminary numbers here. Solid player. Like even last year, he batted 296, 9 homers, 57 RBIs at the top of that Rays lineup. Walks a ton. Just like a really solid player. 3.4 WAR. That's starter level player right there. He finished 20th in the MVP voting. When we look at 2023 already, in just 26 games, he's already at 7 home runs when he had 9 all season last year in 137 games. So, of course, we have to look into this. We have to see what he's done to change this and really bring his numbers to the next level and see if it's sustainable. We start by just looking at the Rays in general, and they locked up Yandy before the start of this season on a 3-year extension. And this is just a savvy organization. Another team that people get mad at because they don't spend money on their players, but they're consistently in the playoffs. They're consistently at the top of the AL East. And so they have one of the best development staffs in the entire MLB. And they are one of, if not the best team at identifying talent and developing it. And a lot of these guys you see are like second chance guys. Like Randy Arozarena was with the Cardinals, and the Rays took him on, and now he's an all-star level player. Manny Margot, he was with the Padres. Yandy Diaz was with Cleveland before he came here. And they constantly turn pitchers into elite level players too. And I'm sure in the future we're going to break down a couple of their guys. But yeah, we think about, I don't know, guys like even Jason Adam, for example. He jumped around the league for years and then found a home with the Rays and was all of a sudden one of the most elite pitchers in the league last year. But for now, today, we're going to focus on Yandy. We're going to look at the StatCast numbers now. But yeah, we look at his contract. If he's playing at this level, then this is an absolute bargain for the Rays. And this is even a team option in 2026. So they could have this guy locked up for 4 more years, including this year. And he could be playing at a near MVP level, even an all-star level at a minimum. So we look at Yandy's numbers here in 2023, and it's a whole lot of red. And so of course, the thing you might be saying is, wow, 2023, it's a small sample size. He's only had 112 plate appearances. So let's look at 2022, I guess. 22, a lot of red. You know, these are elite K and walk percentages. And it's not just like in 2022. We can go back in seasons, and before he even broke out and was a really good player, like he's got solid, he's in the red in all these seasons. So he's a high walk guy, low K rate guy. That's a combo for a lot of success. And when he's made the adjustments that he's made this year, that's a deadly combo. That's an elite combo right there. So let's look at 2022 again. Of course, everyone's going to notice this blue right here, the barrel rate. So what we're looking at when we're looking at barrel percentages is it's essentially the perfect combination between launch angle and exit velocity. And that's a pitch is or a batted ball, is classified as a barrel when it has that perfect combination. And I don't have those numbers off the top of my head, but you can look it up if you're interested. Maybe we'll break down what some of these StatCast numbers mean in the future. But so yeah, essentially he has this high exit velocity here. And so what was wrong was his launch angle. So if we go and look down here a little bit, 7.8 launch angle, which is not great. It's not a elite level right there. But you look and it's jumped up to 10.8 there. So that's a major adjustment. In turn, his barrel percentage, way up. His max exit velocity is about the same. I expect this number to kind of average out to what he's been throughout his career, maybe 92, 93. But with his launch angle increasing, his barrel rate is increasing, and his expected slug is just through the roof. This is the top 10% in the entire league. And it's leading to way more like extra base hits and bigger batted balls. So look at these numbers. These are obviously elite. We know this. His hard hit rate is through the roof to start the year. He's seeing the ball really good right now. And this is kind of, I don't know if this will sustain for the entire season for him, but he's the guy that hits the ball really hard. When he's hitting the ball at a launch angle of 10.8 and he's hitting it that hard, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. Let's look even down here a little bit. So look at ground ball rate. He's been a guy that's hit the ball on the ground a little too much in his career. 66, 52, 50%. That's all the way down to 43% this year, minus 7% right there. His fly ball rate is jumping off the page. So that's a big adjustment year to year. And it's not a coincidence that his numbers are so much greater this year than they were last year. It's clear that he's made an adjustment in the offseason. He's tried to hit the ball in the air a lot more, and it's paying dividends so far early in the season. We're not going to look too much at his pitch breakdown here on when he hits well. He's a solid fastball hitter. He always has been. He's actually a little slow off the year to hit off fastballs so far, but he's a guy that hits it to all fields. The shift never really affected him too much, so this increase isn't because of the shift changes and those rules. Like, he's always been a guy that hits the ball pretty evenly distributed across the way here. And if we got into the shift numbers a little bit, you'd see that teams weren't really shifting him that much because he always hits the ball everywhere. So this guy was already a really good hitter, and now Diaz is launching the ball and he's becoming a great hitter. I expect him to be an MVP candidate this season. I honestly don't see this changing as the year goes on. One thing that's a little concerning right now is he got a shoulder injury the other day, so we'll watch that closely and kind of see how that plays out over the next couple days. I think there's one other thing that I want to point out for Yandy as we look at the difference between last year and this year is where he's playing in the field. Last year he played a lot at third base. Actually, in a lot of the seasons he's played a lot at third base, and you see he's not a good third baseman. He doesn't have a lot of foot speed, not great hands. He's never been a good third baseman. Now he's playing every single day at first, and I think that we saw that a few years ago with Vlad Guerrero when he made this switch from third to first. That really freed up his bat and his mind just to focus on hitting. I think that's kind of what we're seeing with Yandy. He's also consistently hitting leadoff in that Tampa lineup with big bats like Brandon Lau and Wander Franco behind him, providing a lot of protection for him. And so, yeah, he'll take his walks. He'll be selective about what he's swinging at. He's got great contact skills, so he's not going to strike out too much. And now he's lifting the ball. And so, yeah, he plays in the AL East. It's a great hitters division. He plays on a great team in the Rays, and he's a huge part of their success so far. So, yeah, we're going to be looking for as the season plays out to see if Yandy's going to be one of those top guys. If you're a fantasy player, I suggest you go out and get this guy because these numbers, it's just been one slight adjustment for him, but these numbers have always been there. He's been a breakout waiting to happen. So at age 31, we're starting to finally see it. And the Rays might have themselves a bargain of a contract here. So that does it for today. We're going to do a couple more breakdowns as the week goes on, but thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing your comments below if you so please. And thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks.